day 9 in a third world prison. It's my fourth day in Central Belize prison. It's a Monday, and over the weekend, you are locked in your cell. You don't get out, so that means there's no rec time. That means there's no phone calls. So Monday, one of the things that I was able to do for the first time was make a phone call. I didn't have any money on my prison account, so what they would allow me to do is make a phone call. As soon as the person picked up, I had less than a minute to give them the direct phone number back to the phone that I was on, the landline I was on. I'd have to hang up, and that person would have to call back in order to have a phone conversation with them. So I did that with the U.S. Embassy. I called the U.S. Embassy on my fourth day at Central Belize Prison. And thank God someone picked up and asked them to call me back, hung up. And the first thing they said was, do not worry. You do not have any criminal charges pending in the U.S. You are just stuck in Belize because of immigration paperwork. We just need to get you into your court hearing. We need to try to connect you with family or friends so you can secure a lawyer. I found out that they had spoken to my mom, but I needed to sign a waiver with permission so that they would be allowed to talk to my mother. And so that was the consistent pattern with the U.S. Embassy. If somebody contacted them looking for me or wanted to ask about my whereabouts, they would reach out to me, let me know, and I would have to sign a waiver to allow them to talk to that person in the U.S. That was what I did later that day when I was returned to my cell. A prison guard came to my cell, walked me out to the prison administrative office. You know, it's a whole thing. I have to change into orange prison uniform. I have to do a full body pat down. They have to handcuff me. I have to walk from the women's side of the prison across a parking lot to the main prison. I have to then go into a processing room where, again, I'm pat down, full body. I don't have to wear the handcuffs anymore. And then I'm taken to the prison administrative office. And so in that office was where the U.S. Embassy had faxed them forms that I needed to fill out, waivers, approving that they could talk to my mom. So, after that was done, the day wasn't very eventful. I just had to spend the rest of the day in my cell. I talked to my neighbor, um, got to know her more, told her about my situation. Um, she seemed to empathize. Sadly, she had experienced domestic violence herself. Her last boyfriend was abusive. So we bonded over that. Not the best way to bond, but we talked to each other, gave each other words of encouragement. And then eventually it was 7 and it was quiet hours. And then eventually it was 9 and it was lights out. And then I went back to sleep. Now, oh my gosh, day 10 in a third world um, prison. It was a Tuesday, and at this point, every morning, it was guaranteed that I was going to see at least one or two gigantic, gross, feral cockroaches, cockroach. I would at least see, walking down the hallway or in the room on the floor, and I would scream and they'd run. Oh my gosh, this day, it was my 5th day in Central Belize prison, and man, I'm sleeping. It's like maybe 2, I didn't have access to a clock, but I think it was like 2, 3 in the morning. It was still dark outside, and everyone was, it was quiet, and I could hear this scratching. Just like, it was just nonstop. And I woke up to that, and I thought, please, God, don't let this be what I think it is. Please don't. One of the prison rules is that you cannot turn your light on in your cell. So the lights, if I remember correctly, the lights were off in my cell when I woke up to the sound. So it was dark, so I can't really see, right? And oh my God, I could just hear this scratching, scratching, scratching. And my neighbor, her mom had come by the day before, the day before, and brought styrofoam containers of dinners. She brought 2. And my neighbor was such a sweetheart. She gave me her second styrofoam dinner, which was like this amazing chicken, this amazing rice, and some coleslaw. It was delicious. It was amazing. Oh my gosh. And mangoes, I think, if I remember correct, slices of mangoes. That was the best meal, and flavorful. And but there was garbage, like the styrofoam and the bones from the chicken and whatever else, napkins. And the way it works is we can't take out our garbage till the next day when we go out for a morning shower. So I just tied the plastic bag as tight as I could, and I hung it on the wall. No, at that point I just put it on this table because I didn't know any better. And so I realized that there was something like plural in this that had made its way into the plastic bag despite me tying it tightly, and was in the styrofoam, and they were eating the bones and whatever else that they could. So I like freaked out. I got up and I leaned out the bars and I waved to the officer. I said, please help me, help me, help me. And this overnight officer walked down, shined her light on me, and said, what do you want? And I said, there's something in that container, and the container is like moving. It's like moving around on the table. And she was like, okay, well, turn the light on, open it. And I was like, no. I can't do that. I'm horribly afraid of cockroaches. And that sounds like it's way more than just one cockroach in there. There's like multiple cockroaches. I said, can you come in here and grab the container? She looked at me like, girl, please. She was like, go open the container, kill them. And I was like, I can't. I was like gripping the I stepped up on the door. My feet were off the ground. I was like gripping the bars. I was like, please, can you just come in here and save me? And she was like, no, I can't. She was like, either you go over there and kill them, or shut up, or I'm gonna write you up. And right when she said that, I looked over, and this huge cockroach that was not part of the gang that was in the styrofoam plate was behind, like on the floor behind one of the table legs. Just then he pokes his head out and looks at me, and I screamed. The prison guard rolled her eyes and was like, girl, turn the light back off and go to bed and shut up. And turned around and left. Oh my God. So I was just like frozen. I was frozen at the bars. I couldn't move because it was shaking. It was moving. And I was left alone with multiple cockroaches the size of 2 thumbs.